I don't want to blame OnlyFans for creating a simp-like culture.
Anybody who subscribes to OnlyFans is a simp.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex, and here we brought back one of our favorite guests from one of our favorite episodes, Forbidden Words, Gerry with a G. What's up, man?
What's up?
Man, times are hard. You know, I hope you've been doing well during this pandemic and everything.
Do my best. I
might start OnlyFans. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Start or subscribe?
Start, man. Like, it seems like everybody and their mama got one now. And it's like interesting to see that that's the one industry that hasn't been hit by this whole pandemic.
It's not gonna work for you. That's a woman's game, man.
It's a woman's game.
What's your gimmick? You need a gimmick.
Hey, man.
You need a gimmick. What's your gimmick?
Hey, man.
You know, I saw this woman who, her OnlyFans is her pretending to be a puppy, walking around just in public.
I saw that. I saw it on Snap.
What?
Yeah, she pretends to be a dog. Wow. She crawls around on all fours. She looks good while doing it, apparently.
Supposedly she gets paid $10,000 a month doing it.
It's like a sexual thing?
I mean, if you think dogs look like women, is what she will post you But she's making it work. What's your gimmick? You need a plan.
Everybody and mama has OnlyFans now, and it's just really interesting to me.
Not everybody though.
Yeah.
It seems like a ton of people. It seems like a ton of people during this pandemic. It's
I think it's sad though. I mean, not to say I think OnlyFans should stick around, but it needs to be more. It's just too mainstream.
Yes, exactly. So here's the thing I think about, right? OnlyFans is an adult website. Perfectly fine. Adult websites I'm not gonna call it Pornhub mainstream, but
it's not always only porn.
Everyone's heard of porn.
But
that's what it's known for.
Yeah, and that's his main base. Because the guy who has most control over it when he took over, he framed it that way.
It's like how Snapchat is known for nudes, but that's not what it's for.
Almost, but this one's more extreme.
I feel like Snapchat's more extreme. Snapchat, people did send news over Snapchat, but they're 1 or 2 seconds. I feel like Snapchat's been used for a bunch of different things.
If you Wikipedia OnlyFans, you'll see that the guy who owns the most of it and took control over it, he owns free webcams or whatever.
Yeah,
My Free
Cams. And literally that website is parallel to OnlyFans.
Which is why it's so interesting. This is why, we talked about social media in the past before on different episodes, and this specific aspect of social media will be a different episode. But it's really interesting to see these young women and girls transition to OnlyFans from TikTok and Instagram, because you could never think of back in the day on MySpace someone would be like, oh, here's my free cams, or here's my Pornhub link, go check the link in my bio.
Right.
But now it seems that we've been
it's acceptable to have an OnlyFans link in your bio for some reason.
I saw this tweet. It was like, oh damn, girl just turned 18. She's like, oh, here's my OnlyFans. Did you even try life yet? And it's kind of damn, 18 years old, already on, did you try
18 years
else?
old, time to get that money.
So you know why I see it, why I have a bad taste for OnlyFans? It's funny you said young women, girls, or whatever. Yeah. I actually have a cousin of mine who I was video chatting with, and she was telling me, I was talking to her sister, and then her sister told me what she was thinking, and then I brought her sister to the phone, and I was talking to her. She was like, yeah, Gerry, she's 19 years old, right? Mm-hmm. And she was just like, I was thinking about starting on OnlyFans, or go on sugarbabies.com. Especially when she said that. I was like, what? and she just, explained, she said she actually has some friends that are actually on that site. You know what I mean? She doesn't have any friends on OnlyFans yet, but on Sugar Babies. Mm-hmm. But just hearing my own cousin, I have no sisters. Yeah. But seeing my own cousin say that, made me feel some kind of way, because the way I see OnlyFans and what it's mostly and mainly used for. They are sex workers. Like that's like some people don't want to view it that way, but that's what they are.
And I don't want to get into the practice of shaming sex workers at all. But there is a stigma in like an everyday job, and there's
that's the problem.
There's one example that your brother always brought up. Actually, Gerry's brother always brought up. So it's like, okay, let's say you're bringing somebody to your school to come talk to them about whatever. Like schools do this all the time. They bring in successful people to talk to them about life, right? So am I gonna bring in? Let's say a former adult actress is now a very successful entrepreneur. Am I going to bring in that person to come talk to my young kids about entrepreneurship, knowing that if these kids Googled her name, they'll be seeing naked pictures and videos of them doing sexual acts? Like, you're not going to do that. And some of that is protection of kids and protection, but it's also a stigma that comes with sex work. I don't want to shame sex work, but there is a balance there.
I agree.
I see that.
And I think that's my issue with OnlyFans. It's like, you know, because look, I think strip clubs should be around, you know, and, you know, brothels, all that, you know, like
that's the world's oldest profession.
Yeah, so that's okay, and OnlyFans is okay, but it's just that it's I feel like OnlyFans is a little, the way it's viewed as if it's like some people say it's empowering, like. I don't agree with that it's empowering.
I never thought of it that way.
I haven't heard too much about being empowering. I just know that it is like something that women regularly like. I mean,
okay, I heard this from me and Khalifa. That's why you heard she got back. She's on OnlyFans,
which is very funny because that was the person that said like, oh, porn was the worst decision.
And she even got people to get signed. They signed a petition
against the company that she worked with when she was doing porn, right?
Yep.
I mean,
and now she's on OnlyFans.
And that's the thing about OnlyFans. It's like once you go that route, there's like almost no going back.
I mean, like porn, adult entertainment. I say, yeah, that is the thing about adult entertainment. Like, it's very hard. Like there's several well documented cases. It's very hard for you to break out of that.
So this
tied to the adult industry,
right? And I think this is like the warning, especially like you said, the youth, the young girls and the young women that I feel like is not being told to them. Like people are gonna judge you, especially if you're a woman, on your past. If anything, women get judged in their past more than men.
But you know, here's the thing though. I think because OnlyFans is not like you don't have to have explicit adult entertainment on there.
You don't.
But here's the thing though. A lot of the Instagram models or whatever are like they post the same type of pictures that are already posted on Instagram. So now are they gonna have that same stigma?
Yes.
You think so? Because
no.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. No. If they're posting the same thing you see on social media, if they're posting like a picture in a thong or a picture of them twerking, that's already stuff you see on TikTok and Instagram. So no one's gonna really judge them off them having an OnlyFans for that part. That's what I'm saying.
Association.
You think?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I never did it personally. I don't think it's that widespread though.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I never did it. If I know of an OnlyFans model who's not posting like explicit pictures, like I will see that like all the time. Like people would get the OnlyFans and complain like we don't see anything that we don't see on Instagram anyway. So what's the point? So I don't think those people are getting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think those people are being associated with like sex workers.
And I feel like that's why the girls that make that and for that specific type of content, they feel like they're in a higher status than the girls that go straight from Instagram to straight like, oh, I'm gonna play with myself. So I feel like that's the difference because they feel
like they're better than them.
Yeah, they feel like they're better than them because they're not going to like, oh, I'm not really
like
adult entertainer. I'm not adult entertainer. I'm just like posting the same thing I post on Instagram
and getting paid.
I'm getting paid exactly.
So I agree with you guys. But I think like maybe right now it won't be as bad, but as time goes on and it gets more and more mainstream, the stigma will be attached to the person no matter what.
But if it gets more mainstream, don't you think the stigma will be like destigmatized?
No, because even if you post a video on Pornhub of you just doing the dishes, are you on Pornhub, bro? There's a stigma.
No, that is true. But that is true. Right. But if like, I was doing the dishes, and then like no, like I feel like when people do that, they're like, oh, I can see your naked body, or I can see this.
Yeah,
like,
sure. When you get into the details,
that's already coming up. It's like, oh, damn, yeah, it's nothing because it's just a regular video.
The impression is the same initially.
I agree with you guys. I feel like that's very easy to be like, oh, I was doing this. It's not even close to the same thing.
It is on a small scale though. It's just only a small scale. You know, it's the same thing like when rumors start and you clear up a rumor.
That's right.
It's still hard because it goes around everywhere. One person hears you got You did an OnlyFans to pass 100 things pop in.
And you know what? When it spreads, not everyone's gonna say Alex is on Pornhub, but he was doing dishes. What they're gonna say is Alex is on Pornhub. That's it.
That's very true.
And so it's gonna spread. Alex is on Pornhub. Alex is on Pornhub. That's all they hear.
But then
and now your name's in the mud.
If I'm looking for an employment or this guy is doing it, yes, I'll lose some jobs or lose some opportunities based off that. But like, oh, what I doing on Pornhub? I was doing this, and then be like, oh, that's what it was.
Do you think they're gonna ask that much?
No,
that's all you get is a clap. You still live it. Your life still is tougher. That's the. That's
but there's a difference between. You being exactly. So I feel like these people will still be able to be like. There is a stigma that comes with this. I'm not debating that, but I feel like people that don't use it for that XXX level of content.
Now, if I tell people that I do OnlyFans, motherfuckers be like, "Damn, you have a lot of gays on your dick." Like that's that's what they automatically assume.
I don't know about that.
I would assume that because who are the audience?
That was my next point. You know, it's our fault that everyone's running to OnlyFans right now.
No, it is 100%. When I say our fault, it's 100% men. Because so I know I feel like in the first 8 or 9 minutes of this recording that we're just like shitting on women or OnlyFans.
We're not shitting on them.
But it might feel like that. It might feel like that to the outsider. That's what I'm just saying for the outside viewer. But the whole point is that men often complain about women sexualizing their bodies or all this type of stuff. But it's like you're the one that makes that culture profitable, right? If I'm gonna be the guy that's like, oh, women shouldn't be doing this, women shouldn't be doing this, and then I'm also part of the guy that's on Instagram looking at booty pics or on Pornhub like touching myself, that's gonna be like, okay, I'm literally contributing to the problem I complain about all the time.
Right. So now when it comes to OnlyFans specifically, it's not me.
When it comes to
it's specifically, and I'll say it's Simps. Anybody who subscribes to OnlyFans is a simp.
I know. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Would I go that far?
So I have to clarify. What's your definition of a simp? Because to me, a simp is someone who rewards. It usually would be a woman. Yeah. For no apparent reason,
just for looking good.
Yeah, or glorifies her or praises her.
Worships her.
Not necessarily though. If you were like, I don't know, a well-off 19-year-old guy, right? Money's not an issue to you. Okay. You have these women you follow on Instagram for years and years and years. All of a sudden, OnlyFans is big. Now they're on it. Now you fantasize about these women and their bodies for the longest while, but obviously they've never done anything on Instagram. Yeah. Now they're doing stuff somewhere, which is what you've been probably waiting for, what you've been fantasizing about, and money's not an issue to you. Why not just see it? You're not a simp for just wanting to see it. Money's not an issue.
So time out. Yes.
I actually would say
no. I'm sorry. How is that pathetic?
But I'm sorry.
How is that pathetic?
I'm gonna say.
How is that a simp?
How is this? Because if you're well off, right? If you're a guy who's well off financially, a guy who's well off in your life, you would be able to attract women without a problem.
Who says that? Who says he's not attracting women?
So
you could be dating in real life and still watching porn or still watching people on OnlyFans.
Yes, you can. But why are you subscribing?
Money is not an issue. Same reason dudes get prostitutes.
That doesn't make sense. If you're well off, right, and you're attracting women with no problem. Why are you subscribing to women?
There's an Instagram model that I followed for years who is finally getting butt naked online. Yeah. All I have to do is pay $5 one time and then unsubscribe.
But it's not.
I'm gonna pay. It's a cup of coffee. I'm gonna pay the $5. I'm not saying me, but I'm in that guy's situation. I'm gonna pay that $5. See the mystery, what I've been fantasizing about for all these years. And then be done with it. It's $5. That doesn't make you a simp.
You see, I'm happy. I'm happy you describe it like that because that's not how it happens, though.
So, because to me that seems to be exactly what a simp is.
I feel like a simp is someone who, like, he has no other options.
See, I wouldn't say that. That's like an incel or something. A simp.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, those are almost synonymous to me.
No. I think it's a somebody who literally. Praises someone
because they're desperate.
Time out. Yes. But a simp can get play though. Like if you're a simp,
gets play.
He can get play. I said he can. Different.
News to me.
No. You know why it's not news? Because there's people. Remember that screenshot I sent you of that Reddit thing, where he's in a femme-dom relationship.
Yeah.
If you're in a feminine dominant relationship, I'm not gonna take anything away from whatever alpha female is or whatever. But if you're in that type of relationship where it's like, oh, the woman's really in the relationship, you do what she says at all times, you hear and obey and cater to her without getting anything back in return, besides just being with her, like that's a sin.
No, it's not.
How is it not
in
a sin?
femdom relationship? In a femdom relationship, the man is the one more associated with the femininity, right? He is getting what he wants. He's getting dominated. He's getting control. He's being given the things that he craves in a relationship if he plays this role. He wants to play this role, and he's getting what he wants out of it. A simp is someone who is paying this money, is getting, the coffee mugs or doing all these favors in hopes of maybe one day she'll pick me, even though it's never going to happen. This man is in the situation that he wants to be in.
I do agree with that to an extent, but I also believe in that type of relation, even though you are getting what you want, it's the worshiping of the woman. It's the praising, catering.
That could be a kink.
So there's nothing wrong.
That could be a
so
kink.
I agree with that. Your example is simping. I think the simping is just when you give and don't get it without the person earning it.
That's true.
When the person if you're complimenting somebody and they didn't earn the compliment, if you're praising them and they didn't earn the praise, if that's simping. You're paying for sexual images or just to say hi. Because why is it that people go on OnlyFans when they can go on porn? But OnlyFans offers something that porn doesn't. Am I right?
No, yeah, it's the same thing that Khelil brought up in the example. It's like, you become attached to this model or person that you follow.
There's a connection.
They never got
But why is it that you become attached with the OnlyFans and not the porn?
It's the image in your head.
Well, it's not even just the image. You actually get real. This is why I say it's pathetic. On porn, you're not simping. Why? Because, let's say you're a man, right? You go on Pornhub, you search whatever, you jerk off, there's your reward. You got an orgasm. You slam that computer and throw it out. I'm done with it.
Hold it again.
You treat it like a prostitute. You know what I mean? So then, when it comes to OnlyFans, it gives you more, right? Like you said, this is a person that you follow. This is a person you get to know. When you subscribe to that person, we mentioned that YouTube video that we seen that mentioned how you subscribe, you can actually talk to the person. The person talks to you back. There's communication and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So now you feel like, from what I've read, when you're in the OnlyFans, you feel like you're in a relationship with that person. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's what's pathetic. Because the reason why people are not going to porn versus, you would think porn would be the rising star. But no, OnlyFans is because it gives you something that porn doesn't.
A fake relationship.
That's that intimacy, that relationship. So that means you're saying all these men that are subscribing to these.
But here's the thing.
Is that all of them though?
Yeah, exactly. Not all of them want that relationship. Because if I'm just paying $5 to see the pictures, just so that's what the titties look like. All right, now I'm gone. That's not a relationship.
So I'm like on the fence.
But you want to see her specifically.
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Because you develop a talent for it. I'm on the fence here, and I'll explain why I'm on the fence.
That sounds really pathetic. That question saying what's wrong with to say that this one woman you're putting her in such a high pedestal.
No. I'm saying what's wrong with wanting to see her titties specifically.
Because you can see other titties.
No, but I want to see hers.
Yeah, why? I'm saying
because
why?
that's the one I want to see the most.
But then all
I'm not saying I'm paying for it, but there's nothing wrong with saying I want to see this woman's body more than other women's bodies.
So to get to Gerry's point, what makes her so much special? Much more special?
It could be a number of reasons.
What are the number of reasons?
You have.
Give me. I just want to go ahead. Give me the number of reasons.
It could be. I saw her on Instagram. I thought she was cute. She had this interest. She had
this look. That's not 75.
All those reasons are pathetic.
It doesn't matter.
But yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Wait,
whatever reason. No. Whatever reason you have for preferring a woman over another woman doesn't matter. The fact is you prefer this woman.
If you're gonna pay for it,
I'm not talking about paying. I'm talking about preference.
That's what OnlyFans is.
But I'm not even getting to the OnlyFans yet. No,
I'm
not even getting to that yet. No, but I'm saying it's not pathetic to think that I want to see her titties over someone else's titties.
No, that is not.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fine.
That's all I'm saying.
But if you're gonna pay for it, that's pathetic.
But I'm saying the reason why you would just pay $5 to see it is because they have that preference. Having that preference isn't pathetic, but then maybe paying for it is pathetic. That's the argument.
That's what we're getting at.
That's pathetic. Because if you're gonna pay for some there's more women in this world than men, and if you're gonna pay just to see this one specific woman who's charging you when you can make yourself a better man and
for $5,
start with $5
so
and attract yourself a woman who would look. I know we've all gotten nudes for free. I've gotten nudes unsolicited. You know what I'm saying? And it's like for me to think that there's somebody out there that I would pay for. There's no one out there that I would pay for to go see. I wouldn't pay for porn. I wouldn't pay for a chick to just say hi to. There's people I've read on the Belle Thorne thing. People were upset because they paid $200 and was expecting more.
Yeah,
you know?
she said there was gonna be nudity in there. There was none.
And yeah, so they expected nudity and stuff like that. But it's just like you put Belle Thorne that high of a pedestal, that high that you're willing to pay $200 to see. Like imagine your girl found out that you paid someone else $200 when you could see her ass for free.
But you know what?
Did you see how insulting that is to her?
No, but you see that's coming from a value of money that not everyone has. It's pathetic to you because you see that money that you spent on OnlyFans you could use to make yourself a better man, like you said. That 19-year-old guy who doesn't give a fuck about life at all, $5 is just $5 to him. He doesn't care about being a better man. Money is nothing.
What were you doing at 19, fam? Talk to me. Talk to me, bro.
I was not rich. $5 was a lot to me at 19. I'm just saying, 19, you don't have your values probably.
That 19-year-old guy.
I'm using 19 because at 19, you probably don't have your priorities and your values straight yet. That's why I'm using that. Because that's the situation where you would most likely pay for an OnlyFans when you don't have your values and your priorities straight.
Yes, and it's pathetic. That's all it is.
But that happens to not be the case, though. So a large majority, there's been research about this, and the video is a good indicator. But there's been research about it. So the OnlyFans thing and porn to an extent, and once again, a whole other episode of porn should exist or not, whole different episode. But the OnlyFans,
yes, episode done.
Not necessarily. But the only thing is that OnlyFans turns into like a gambling addict, right? So let's say you're that 19-year-old guy who had. They wanted to see their favorite model naked or favorite model doing explicit things. But when you pay for this, you do not know what she's going to post. Like, that's a big part of OnlyFans. Yeah,
like that Bella Thorne thing.
Yeah, you do not know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, there's a subscriber paywall to see the basic stuff. And then there's also a tip paywall where it's like, hey, pay $100 for me. $100 more on top of your subscription. It's like Netflix comes. It's like, imagine this, right? If we always have Netflix here or some type of like Hulu or ESPN thing, right? Always have that here, right? So Netflix was like, oh, here's $15. You pay $15 to see our basic program. But hey, for $95 more, you can see this brand new movie with Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington. You're gonna be like, what the fuck?
I'm glad you brought up Netflix and streaming services.
Yeah, you're
because some OnlyFans are like more than Netflix per month. Like there's some people with like $20.99 per month.
I've seen 70,
which is fucking ridiculous.
But that's Gerry's point.
That is absolutely pathetic.
Why it's pathetic though? Like you paid $75 to not like, and then imagine paying $75 per month. To see your dream, the woman of your dreams, and then on top of that, she's charging you $125 more for one video to see her how you want to see her. But this is like.
We value money. We can't understand it.
I'm not blaming.
I'm putting myself in a position of someone who does not value money.
I don't want to blame OnlyFans for creating a simp-like culture, but I want to blame OnlyFans for amplifying the culture. Right, I want to blame OnlyFans for amplifying simp.
You wouldn't blame prostitution. You blame OnlyFans. You wouldn't blame prostitution.
No, because prostitution. OnlyFans is not prostitution. I've seen a couple of like things about that saying OnlyFans prostitution. OnlyFans is not prostitution.
Different. I know it's definitely different.
So it's like if I'm.
But it's still where you pay for something specifically and you get that thing.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay for pictures and you pay for pictures, you get what you wanted. If you're willing to pay for sex and you get sex, then you get what you wanted.
You don't know if you're gonna get there or not. So you think you're gonna see.
There's some ways of knowing.
You think you only see your favorite model buck naked, right? Oh damn! Turns out there's a censor thing on her titties. Like, oh damn! I paid an $80 tip for that. Wow.
No. I saw it was on Twitter. Wow. This woman, she posted on Instagram, and like her chest area and like her vagina area, like it was like a star on there. It's like subscribe to OnlyFans to see the uncensored version. Mm-hmm. You subscribe, You see the same picture, but you think it's gonna be buck naked, but she got like a bikini or like some pasties or like a G-string.
Yep.
She would edit out the strings of the bra to make it look like her skin when she censored it, so that you wouldn't know she had a bra on.
So I want to say that I want to say the word blame. Like I blame OnlyFans, like you say. I would say that OnlyFans simply just exploits the Simps.
Yeah, it's not to blame.
Yeah, because when you think about OnlyFans,
I'm just amplifying it.
Yeah, OnlyFans is like a pimp.
Yeah, it's finding the very vulnerable people, and then it's like, yo, I'm gonna take all your money.
Are they the more vulnerable? It's a rich man's game. No poor person's gonna get an OnlyFans.
That is not true at all.
That is.
No, it's not. It's not true.
Come on, bro. Who's dropping $125 per video?
Time out.
Get some help.
But this is what I'm talking about.
Isn't that as cheap as $10?
But do you see why it's like the gambling thing? It's like, who's gonna have money? Who's not gonna have money and then try to bet money away? It's the same. It's the same exact concept.
You have to keep in mind, one of the reasons why during the quarantine this also boomed is because strip clubs and stuff like that.
Yes, everything's closed down.
Yeah, closed down. So those people who spend money all the time, the amount of money that people spend on OnlyFans is probably cheaper than what they spend on the strip club.
I agree. I agree with that.
Sure.
Unless they're paying for tips. But
so is going to a strip club simping?
I don't think so. At least to an extent.
You pay money just to see things.
You're like, but you're in there.
OnlyFans is worse.
Yeah, because at the strip club,
you want more.
You can control what you get.
Can you?
To an extent.
You can't tell the stripper what to do.
No, but if you tip her money, you know she's more likely to get
naked. And you can tip the
though.
OnlyFans person money to get a custom video.
And then you'll know it's trash. And I'll be like, oh, damn, it's trash. But if I'm at the strip club, if I'm in person with you, I can say, hey, I want to see you without your thong. Here's an extra $30.
Why can't you do it on OnlyFans?
Because they don't always oblige to that. What are you going to do if they don't oblige to that?
Or they charge you a lot more.
They can charge
I'm talking about for the custom videos. You might have to tip a lot more to get the stripper to do what she wants.
We've heard of catfish. Like, oh, I'd be like, I look like this. And I'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, thanks for paying me the money. Bye.
You already subscribed, though. You know this is the person.
Yeah, but I don't have to be honest with you about how I operate on my business, though.
Bro.
Exactly, right? The same way people that was
custom videos is different. I'm not talking about the Bella Thorne thing.
You requesting it, though.
Right. Just like you would request from the stripper to do a specific thing.
Yeah, but I'm in person with the stripper. If I was in person with the stripper, I can hold her like I'm not gonna
accountable.
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna do anything physically to her.
Take the money back.
If she doesn't do what she's gonna say I'm gonna do,
take the 20 off her.
Exactly. I'm not gonna pay her the money. So if I go to you like, yo, Gerry, fix my car, and he does not fix my car, I'm not giving him any money. That was the agreement we had. I'm giving you money to do a service, or to do a thing, and what.
But you could go to Gerry's shop. Hey Gerry, I need my brakes fixed. All right, takes it to the back. All right, it's gonna be $400. You take the car down the street. Shit breaks down. You go back to the store. Gerry's not there.
I mean, that's getting scammed.
That's what we're talking about. Right, so you can get scammed on OnlyFans, right?
You
can get scammed in real life too.
You can't get scammed in real life. But for the specific example of like a strip club or sexual pleasure, like how are you gonna get scammed off sexual pleasure in real life? You
know, you can't just if you scamming on OnlyFans, you're not gonna be successful. Yeah, so if women are scamming on the OnlyFans, they're not gonna be successful.
That's not true. Because you know, the number one person on OnlyFans before it became as mainstream as it was right now was an Australian model named Gemma Wolfie. Right. And so there's various websites and like Reddit, subreddit, like there's a bunch of, you know the saying, once you put someone on the internet, it's there forever. Right? That's the famous saying they have.
Right.
So you would have a bunch of these dissatisfied people that they were doing the same exact thing you talked about. Oh, Instagram, see this uncensored picture, and the uncensored picture is me in a bikini, right? And then we have all these people that are frustrated and angry about this, but yet this person remained the top person for OnlyFans.
Right, because then I'm sure after a while people knew what they were expecting.
They were always hoping. It's like the gambling casino thing. They were always hoping, oh, the next one is going to be the time she finally does what I want her to do.
But did she ever say, I'm going to do nudes? And then scammed people? I don't think she did.
But she never said she wasn't going to do that, though. And there were a few times where this specific model, you know, I don't want to use it for a broad thing, but I think it paints the picture. This specific model was like, oh, like if I'm going up to like, oh, see more, see the uncensored version, I'm seeing the uncensored version, right? Like I'm seeing
the uncensored version is technically the one that doesn't have the censorship that's currently being seen.
Technically, but you know what you're implying when you say that, though.
Sure.
Right? So if I'm saying that, and then this person does not do that thing, it's like, yo, what the hell? That's
right.
Like, that's a waste of my money.
And then what do? You leave, don't you?
But then she does it again.
So
and then it's like,
yeah,
exactly.
You said what?
Simp is gonna simp.
Simp is gonna simp. So he's gonna keep hoping, and the gambling addict is gonna keep hoping. Oh, the next one is gonna be the one she finally does it. The next one's gonna be the one I finally get 777s on the slot.
So these dudes know that they're not getting what they're paying for, and they're paying for it nonetheless.
But then here's the thing: there was a few times where she did do the uncensored version. So now. So
she's mixing it up. So now the hope is justified.
Now that there was 1 or 2 rewards, like if everyone's been to the casino,
she's
right?
playing the game.
If everyone's been to the casino, let's say I don't play slots. If I ever go to the casino, I've been to the casino like 3 or 4 times. I don't play slots because I think it's too much luck involved. So I play like 3-card poker or 5-card poker 21, a game where you have like slight control over, not a lot, but slight control over.
Sure.
If I'm playing 21. And the dealer keeps winning, I'm less likely to pay 21. But then, let's say the dealer loses for 1 or 2 turns.
Then you're more likely to keep going.
Yeah, it's like, damn, I can make money now. So it's the same thing with this OnlyFans. It's like it's a gambling type addiction where in the video that we're gonna link in the show notes as well, it's gonna say,
for some people,
it's like, hey, I got the reward once or twice. I'm gonna keep gambling my money, hoping that I'm gonna get it back.
For some people. I can't imagine the majority of people like, yo, I didn't get what I came here for. I'm gonna keep paying though.
You talking about a $1 billion industry, man?
It's not
just some people you can say that for. It's $1 billion, $2, $3, $4 billion.
All it is just exploiting men's desires. That's what it is. And I actually don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it's pathetic that so many men are doing it. That, you know, especially at the level that it's in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing is too, like we've been talking about, like from the men's side, I think it also is really bad for women too, for the same reasons why prostitution and stripping is bad. And I mean, just to track back too, I wanted to say earlier, I remember I dated a girl, because you brought up the strippers and having control and stuff. Yeah. I remember we were talking, and I forgot how I got brought up, but she said she respects prostitutes more than strippers. And she would hire a prostitute before a stripper because she respects the prostitute more. Wow. To me, I thought that was backwards. And then she explained to me, she was like, well, the prostitute has more control. And she said she has more control of who her clients are. When you're a stripper, you go out there and you have to strip whoever's paying.
No, that's true.
Whereas you're a prostitute, you choose who you want. Unless, of course, you know, your pimp manhandles you, but you choose who you want to sleep with. And I never thought about it that way. And and like we're discussing that, and like I remember seeing something about Cardi B where she was talking about when she was a stripper and how it affected her image of herself and like mentally, and how she went through a lot of stuff. And same thing with, I have some female friends who've been in beauty pageants and stuff like that, and they actually said that like affected them mentally and stuff like that. 2 of them that actually even won, 2 separate people, they won their beauty pageants, and they said that they hated it. And I thought that was very interesting. And I just think, like, you know, one thing that's not being, again, because I think the problem is it's so mainstream, and it's because the stigma, even though there is a stigma there, it's not as bad as the other stuff. People don't think that it's going to have the same effect on them as they do if they were to become a prostitute or a stripper. And that is if you're a female or male, because there's a lot of the emotional and psychological baggage that comes with that. I remember when I was reading the Cardi B thing, it was like an article, they just mentioned Cardi B, but they were just talking about strippers, and they said how strippers have a negative view of men. And like, a lot of times their relationships don't work because them being in an environment where men are literally, you know, drooling out the mouth because of their bodies. And or maybe the article was about Cardi B, because I remember Cardi B, they said that she said that she felt pressure to have surgery and stuff like that. Or maybe it was a different story. But she was because she would look at the girl with the bigger boobs and the bigger ass. It was Cardi B because
and still getting more money.
Yeah, she was talking about her surgery on her ass, how she got plastic surgery. And she said, oh, she would see the other strippers with the fat asses that had asses bigger than hers, and they were getting more money. Well, she wants to get paid, so she needs to get on her body. And especially us being 3 men, I don't think we do or even can really have the mentality, like see the mental frame that women go through when they go through stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like where you're constantly being judged based on how you look, because that's
a woman's experience. I feel like
the woman's life experience is being judged on their appearance. That's literally their life experience.
And I feel like when it comes to strippers and OnlyFans and prostitution and stuff like that, it goes back to a conversation that we were having. It's almost like men and women in those situations, the relationship that they have and the way that they see each other, it's almost like they see each other in the stereotypical essences that we keep saying the other one is. Like women always say that men just see women as sex objects. We do something to fuck. Mm-hmm. When it comes to OnlyFans and strippers and prostitutes, that's literally what we see. We go because it's something that we want to fuck. Mm-hmm. Men say women only see men as piggy banks, bank accounts, because they just want money from us. When it comes to OnlyFans, strippers, and prostitutes, what are they getting from men? The only way they look at men is as people who pay them money.
So it amplifies that culture and exploits that same culture. And I think...
but how is it harmful if we're both... It's like symbiotic though. Like we're both benefit.
It's very harmful because again, the same way it's harmful for a stripper or a prostitute. So imagine if you're a young 20-year-old woman, right? And you have men that literally pay just for you to say hi to them, to acknowledge them, for them to see a picture of you in a bikini. And let's say you're 20 years old and now you're 25. So you've been doing this for 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And we all know this. This has been all over media and stuff like that. Social media inflates people's egos and
absolutely
and self-worth, the likes and everything like that. So as a woman, you have a plethora of men that are willing to pay for just to get your way. How entitled do you think you would feel?
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that
very entitled.
I agree.
Very entitled.
It's the same person. It's the same woman that's gonna expect people to pay for her dates 100% of the time. It's the same person that's gonna expect to pay be married and pay no bills or do the same. It creeps into the larger stream of society in ways you don't think it has.
And is that the same man that's always going to see women as just something to have sex with?
I think so. But the whole point of this though, and to Gerry's point, is how is there any healthy relationship between the two?
Exactly.
It's not.
Exactly.
I cannot, especially say 5 years after doing it, I cannot look at men as something that I can respect. It's just all I have to do is show you my nipple and you give me money. And I look at almost any man like that. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm constantly getting that. You get in a relationship, the guy, you tell the guy, you get in an argument, she gets in an argument with her man about something like that. And she's like, well, you're not getting any tonight. And he's like, I don't care. And she's like, just imagine to her, that's my money. You know how many men? I literally overheard 2 coworkers talking, and one of them was upset at her ex. And she was telling the other coworker, she was just like, he doesn't know. I have a line of men just waiting for me to be single. Da 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 da. And it's just again, if you're, it's good to have self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when your ego is just so high, and it's not even just for relationships. Yeah. She to then depend on your appearance to get what you want.
Which is gonna fade.
You're getting what you want. Yes, you're gonna fade. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you turn a certain age, and some people are able to keep it up, but
you can't keep it up forever.
You can't keep it up forever.
I mean, it's plastic surgery now and all that.
And you know what? But
remember college, fresh meat? You know what I mean? The freshmen come rolling in. Yeah. Everybody's looking at the new.
But I'm pretty sure nowadays there are financial advisors for people who have OnlyFans making all that money to better set themselves up for the future, so that they don't have to rely on their looks forever.
It's the same thing for the men that think they're just gonna have money forever to throw at these women. What happens when times get tough? What happens when there's a pandemic that no one's for? What happens when there's a pandemic that no one foresaw? And money's tight right now. What happens? There's no way for the man. It's the same thing. Same way it's not healthy for the woman. There's no way it's healthy for the man to be in a relationship. Everything's gonna have a wife or a kid and respect the woman You know the
right.
whole thing, like
and everything's gonna be viewed as a transaction.
Yeah, exactly.
People get used to it.
I'm so happy about that. Everything's a transaction.
Yes.
It's like there's no healthy relationship here. It's like, yo, I give you money, you do what I want to do, you get what you want, and then we're done.
People are gonna literally start being in relationships and they're paying for sex.
Like there's nothing. There's no healthy relationship there.
So,
and I'm not blaming OnlyFans, but I'm just saying OnlyFans has exploited this culture.
It's exploited too much.
It's not. I don't know if it's exploited too much. But it's found a way to get into the mainstream that's never happened before. Instagram is one of the 5 largest social media platforms. It's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit. Right? Those are the 5 biggest social media platforms in the world. And you also have the Western biggest social media platforms in the world. You also have I think there's a couple of Chinese ones.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot the name.
It's like Yao. I forgot the name of it, but there's a couple of Chinese ones. There's a couple of Eastern ones that we don't have the name of. But you have those, and it's becoming a part of those cultures. And social media is very influential, like you said. Like women get likes, and like men get likes, and their self-esteem and ego is way more inflated than it should be off of social media. Like people pay for likes, people do all this type of stuff. Now there's no healthy relationship, and now it's like, yo, this is kind of being pushed. It's just crazy to me.
So me and my boy, we talked about this, right? This is a big twist, but we said, and TikTok is a big thing on this too. TikTok and Instagram.
I forgot TikTok. I forgot TikTok.
TikTok and Instagram, and with OnlyFans. So all this is tied together. Is going to increase the how can you say the condoning or whatever of pedophilia. It is.
Ooh.
It's slowly gonna lead to that.
Hold on. Yeah. Guide me there.
Yeah.
Guide me there.
So
I can make that jump by myself.
So we're talking about like the woman's mental state earlier, right? Like saying, all right, look at the woman's side of things and how she like
cuties. We said this.
Yeah, but before we get to
that wasn't based off social media, and that wasn't based off social media though, and there was a large social media backlash to that.
Go ahead. But I'm just thinking about cuties right now.
Go ahead. So the TikTok has a lot of young people on that app.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They do a lot of adult things.
They do what they need to do to get big.
Just to give the viewers a background, especially new viewers a background. We're all 25 plus here in our age bracket, right? So 1995 and before is when we're all born. TikTok is big with the generation or mini generation right after us. TikTok is big with people born after 2000, right? So we're talking about 2000 to 2020. That's where it's like the large amount of their influencers and consumers are from that app. So I just want to give a little background, but continue with your story.
Yeah. So TikTok, Instagram, and all that. Again, us 3 are men. Yeah. Like I said, but women. Like it would be great if we had a woman here.
Kind of party.
But I'm even sure she can attest. Like from a very young age, the moment women mature quicker than men.
Yeah.
And part of the reasons too is because they have to. Like when women go through puberty, from 10 to then 13, they could literally have a C cup, have a figure of a woman. You know what I mean? And they go from being a little girl to literally having a 30-year-old guy looking at her boobs. You know what I mean? And she's experiencing this as a teenager. So women go through a lot with their bodies, their appearance, and their self-image for a very young age. And now you have social media. I'm sure you guys have seen it. You'll go on Instagram and you'll see a woman that you thought was a woman, but it's a girl. She looks older than what she is. So just imagine you have a 15-year-old girl who is very well developed physically, and she goes on Instagram or TikTok or something, and she sees a 25-year-old, 26-year-old grown woman getting 50,000 likes. Why? Just because she was in a bikini. 100,000 views. Why? Just because she was twerking. And this same 15-year-old girl could be looking at that woman with all those likes. She's like, I got bigger breasts than her. I can twerk better than her. I'm prettier than her. You know?
And I want those likes.
And I could get those likes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guess what? I'm pretty sure there is plenty of Instagram girls underage that get plenty of likes from grown men.
Yeah.
And TikTok, I think it has likes too.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. So now let's say you have a 15, 16, 17, 13-year-old girl who's on Instagram getting likes. She sees she's getting the likes, getting DMs from grown men. What does that do? I'm thinking about my future kids, like a daughter. What does that do to her mentally? How does she view life? How does she view men? How does she view herself, her self-value? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And again, this is how I say it goes back to the pedophilia thing or whatever. TikTok, especially TikTok is not regulated. Instagram isn't so regulated either, but it's better regulated than TikTok. And you can. There's a lot of underage girls. They put this shit public. You know what I mean? And who knows? Again, like if I had a daughter, man, I would let her know. When I say I want to check your Instagram, you give me your account. I want to check your Instagram. I want to see your DMs. Let me see what you've been posting on TikTok. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, and parents, they can't keep up with that. They can't keep up with people's Instagrams and people's TikToks. So you can literally, and I'm just saying, I don't think that's happening now, but in the future, we could literally have a generation where you have a lot of real sketchy, bad shit that's happening, and parents really have no idea. And it's the girls themselves that are exploiting themselves for likes.
But is that
and I'm talking about young girls.
Yeah.
Because they're aspiring. The same way a 15-year-old looks at a dude who's making money illegally, an older guy, he's getting all the bitches, he has all the nice cars. And then he maybe thinks and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should go that route. Maybe I should go do that. That's why a lot of people say it's good that we have good men that are role models, or black men that are good role models, so then the younger men look at that and say, hey, I want to follow their path instead of the other path. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying you have these little girls who look just like these grown women, or are going to eventually, and they see the path that they're making.
It's much like what we said in that Cuties episode.
If I was a young girl and I see a woman with her at 20 years old, has her own house, driving a Mercedes-Benz, traveling the world, I am gonna be like, and I'm working with the same thing that girl's working with. You know, I'm gonna be like, yeah, my looks have been getting me a lot. Think about it. Women's looks already gets them a lot. It gets them dudes to buy them food, gets them to take them out on dates, gets them to hold doors for them. You know, they get compliments.
I forgot the comedian who said this. He was, if I remember the name, I'll say it. He was in a stadium and he said that, I'm going to share how fucked up this world is about how it views women. He said, no woman in this country should ever go hungry or not have a place to stay. And the audience clapped. And he said, what if I said that shit for men? Would you clap? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
That's facts.
It's like every woman is sitting on a scholarship right now.
But it just goes to show, like, if we're looking at social media, and we haven't talked about social media too much, but we talk about the OnlyFans and TikTok and Instagram specifically. If we're looking at those things, they will. The biggest problem with this going mainstream is that it's gonna increase the amount of unhealthy relationships, I feel. Because if you're a young kid, like it's already. I can see that. We talk about this for so long on social media, like in the same point you were just getting at. But if you're not even for the older men, but like if you're that younger girl or if you're that younger boy, right? And this is how you viewed women. You viewed the OnlyFans. You're on porn. Like it's very hard for parents.
But to be fair,
it's extremely hard for parents to regulate that.
Yeah.
And then on
top of 18 plus.
On top of that, so is Pornhub. But I'm sure you guys have found that before you were 18. I'm sure you guys have put on a video before.
The good thing about Pornhub and stuff, like they regulate who gets on there. And the feds do too. No,
as best they can.
You mean
who uploads?
Who's in the video?
Who's in the videos?
That's what I meant. I was talking about
but we're talking about the people who consume the pornography.
I'm talking about the viewers. So I'm talking about the viewers.
And I actually think the viewers are to blame for all of this, which is
you're giving a 14-year-old child for like not knowing what they want to look at a woman's body. Like that's not.
No, let me rephrase that. For simping, specifically
for simping.
I wouldn't. But I don't blame Simps. I don't blame Simps for simping.
The point. You don't blame what?
I don't blame Simps for simping. They were conditioned. It's not their fault.
They were conditioned.
They were conditioned.
No, they're weak. It's because they're weak.
They were conditioned to be weak men. Look at the way they were raised. Look at society, culture, what they're consuming. Yes.
A lot of these dudes come from two-family households.
Guess what? I don't have sympathy for men. Man up. No, I'm serious.
They don't have you in their lives to say that. They've never heard that ever, bro. They've never heard that ever.
You know what? They need to pick up a book. I'm sorry.
I find they don't even know what they don't know.
I find that hard to believe.
You don't know what you don't know.
They never heard the man up before. I find that hard to believe. I find they never found a movie or a show or an online.
Not for a long time.
Simps, I understand Simps are gonna exist. They are gonna exist.
Yes, they are gonna exist.
But like I just always like it's the same thing with like drug use. Like people say, you know, drug violence and all that stuff like that. The demand for drugs is the reason why there's still drugs. If you want to eliminate drugs, the demand just needs to go down.
Which it never will.
Zero. But it never will. Like people are always gonna want it. Same thing with sex. That's why I say OnlyFans. Like I think OnlyFans is a great tool for sex workers and other because it's not only for that too. Like Cardi B uses it for
Cardi B uses it for behind the scenes access. Like if you're one of those people like Cardi B or like Nicki Minaj, or Beyonce, I'll point to these three. They're not selling sex workers on Beyonce. Beyonce doesn't have OnlyFans to my knowledge, but the reason I point to Cardi B and neither Nicki Minaj have OnlyFans, but they have like a cult like following. You know what I'm saying? Like they
very
have
loyal.
The Bayhive, the Nicki Minaj fans, their cult like following. Where they're like, oh, Nicki dropped something, I'm listening to this instantly. Like I know Nicki dropped a new song, bam. Nicki's radio show, every day I'm tuned in.
And a lot of like paparazzi and blogs, they're gonna have to get the OnlyFans to get like the scoops for like a lot of shit.
Which is very valid.
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing we haven't tipped on, and the bigger thing to the simpness is, or simphood. I don't know which is the better way to say it.
I can say welcome to the Simp after
the thing we haven't talked about, and I think is very, very important, is like you have this model in your example that you fantasize about since you're a 19-year-old guy. You have this model you fantasize about being naked or having sex with her or whatever. Perfectly normal, whatever. Same thing for females. If you fantasize about Denzel or Michael B. Jordan, that's perfectly normal. That's fine. No one's putting any derogatory terms towards that. But if you have had that situation, and then, let's say, to my point that I said earlier in the pod, once something's online, it's online forever. So there's a bunch of forums, there's a bunch of websites
where you can get this shit for free.
So this is why I'm going back to the simphood thing, where it's like, yo, I'm getting this shit for free. Right, I'm finding areas that, like, especially if you're like one of those people who feel like they felt a connection with the model or the person. If I'm one of those people and I found this stuff for free, why am I still paying for that? And then better yet, the same screenshot that I sent you a few days ago is like, oh, yo, my baby that I don't know, by the way. Hey, baby. There's this website where these guys are leaking your stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's a simp.
It's like, bro, what's going on, fam?
Because the difference is, we touched on it a little bit, you know, in the beginning, is that with OnlyFans, you get an actual emotional connection. That's the difference between OnlyFans and porn. I get the emotional connection, and I said that is pathetic. The fact that you as a man, because you cannot in real life go out there and find a real connection with another woman. So instead you're gonna go online and pay for it. You're literally paying for a human connection. And this is what I'm saying. If I was a woman, I would look at you as pathetic because you're literally paying me because you want me just to acknowledge your existence. I would look at myself as a goddess. To be honest with you.
Thank you.
Oh, or if it was the other way around, and I was a guy and I had the OnlyFans and I had a bunch of women literally paying me just, you know, to see my body and for me to just acknowledge them.
Freaking talk to them.
Just talk to them. Hey, hi, how was your day? Yeah. I would literally say, damn, I'm a god. Like, I would respect every single one of them less. I would respect them less. I can't see, if I paid for a woman just for her to say hi to me and talk to me, you know, and I keep paying.
Rate my dick pics. That's what they do now.
Yo.
Yeah,
that is they mentioned crazy. Oh my. You see, man, how is that not pathetic, bro? How is that not pathetic, fam?
Wait a minute. I never talked about the dick pics, bro.
Alright, but
I said pay $5 to see a titty and then cancel it. It's not
pathetic. Here's a
pathetic.
picture of my body. Can you rate it for me?
and you're paying for the rating. You could pay for a 1 out of 10.
For the audience, so that if they don't know, before we started this, we saw a short clip on YouTube that explained OnlyFans. We are not Simps, so we've never actually.
Which I will advise. I'll put in the show notes for sure. You can find it on our show notes on the Opinion Factory. It'll be in the YouTube description.
Very well done.
It'll be in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this podcast. It will be in the show notes. There'll be a link to this video. That is a very good precursor for this episode. To wrap this up, the only question, I'll let Khelil take this. The only question.
The question is, do you feel like OnlyFans is more destructive or constructive to people's self-esteem, to real-life relationships, or just to these young people in general who are consuming it in such large quantities?
Yeah, and to just say one more thing, I feel like we focus a lot on the negatives of OnlyFans.
Yeah, we did.
But there is a constructive part. Like, to the same example you brought up, there is a constructive part of, like, I want to see this one specific person. There is no, like, abuse involved or no, like...
illegality.
Yeah, illegal or predatory behavior involved. Where it's like, hey, it's the same way I treat, like, Pornhub, but, like, I just really want to see this one specific person. You know, there's no criminal activity involved. There's no immoral behavior involved here. Mm-hmm. And it was this transaction. That's fine.
Do you think it's simping to pay for like porn websites like Brazzers and Bang Bros? And do you think that's simping?
That's a good question. It's
like a gray area.
It's simping. Like I said in the beginning of the video, to me anyway, simping is to basically either award or praise another person
who was undeserving of it.
Yeah, that didn't do anything to deserve it. Yeah, so the point's like you're not really praised. Like, again, you're doing it for your own self gratification.
Yeah, but if I get OnlyFans, I'm it's basically like Brazzers if they only had one model.
Not sure. Not to say.
Yeah, if I don't care, I don't care about talking to her. I don't care about getting a connection.
No. Brazzers can't work off one model. If that's the case, then you wouldn't be simping. But that's the part that you're simping, because the OnlyFans is offering more than that. It's offering more. That's why I say it's pathetic. It's offering a human connection, an emotional connection.
But what if that's not what I wanted for? I just wanted to see the titties.
Then you're not simping.
But back to the point.
It's the same thing like prostitutes and strippers.
But not even that.
And even OnlyFans. Like, I want to say, like, I'm strip clubs, prostitutes, OnlyFans. Keep it around. I'm not going to be simping. I'm not going to be tricking. It's the same thing as a trick. Like, I'm not hating on tricks. If you're going to be a trick, you're going to be a trick. You're going to pay for a prostitute. You know, you want to pay for a girl to, strip for you. Good times, man. I've been to a strip club twice. Yeah. I'll go again, but yeah. I have a story about that, but, I've been there twice, you know what I mean? And I understand. Look, it's fun. So same thing. You OnlyFans, I think the same way that tricks are, for prostitutes and tricks, it's the same thing.
So it's the emotional part of OnlyFans that's pathetic to you.
That's very pathetic, because it's like the fact you're paying to just get an emotional connection.
I agree with that.
When you won't actually just be if you're just a decent human being, you can get an emotional connection.
What if I have social anxiety?
Well, that's a different issue, and then that's a cop out too. Again, that's pathetic, because now you're paying for it instead of dealing with and that's why I say, especially as a man, that's why I'm not that sympathetic, because as a man, you're running away from your problems.
So the simp thing is a different episode, but I feel like if I had a son, he wouldn't be a simp because of the environment that he'd be raised in. So that's why I'm saying simps
you hope so, yeah.
aren't simps by choice. It's not their fault. That's for a different episode. That's my argument. That's not this episode.
I don't know, man. The female body's strong, man.
Nah.
Some days I wake up and I might turn today, man.
Nah, never. Nope. Nope. You never go back. I
can't even think of an Instagram.
I'm pretty sure we were all simps at one point, but then we learned. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we've all simped in the past.
I'm happy you brought this point. I'm happy. I wish we brought that point up earlier in the podcast. I feel like there's all points. There's a certain point in man's life where I was like, God damn, I kind of regret that decision.
Yes. I told you the story in this podcast in the very first episode. My ex broke up with me. I texted her nonstop until I saw her again. Exactly. I was like, yo, I texted you. Why the fuck would I do that?
Nah, exactly.
She knows.
It's like perfect.
So now moments. You got to the point that you were like, say she got an OnlyFans, and then you went onto OnlyFans to circumvent and just be like, babe, please. Now even paying That's what it basically is. You see how pathetic that is?
No.
Pathetic, man. Like, if you're gonna pay, I honestly, I respect a trick more that goes out there and pays a girl to fuck than a guy who pays for a girl to say hi.
But
it's pathetic.
But to my point, is I want to go to that far. Like, you know, subscribe to her only.
And any woman would say it's pathetic. But again, I'm not knocking any woman who
no, of course,
if I was a woman, I would exploit it too.
We're not doing that. Like, this is not.
Oh, for sure.
This episode is not about shaming women for doing.
I'm shaming men though. The men. I'm shaming them.
The men
shaming women.
It's very different.
I'm shaming the simps.
I'm not about
women
shaming.
Keep doing your thing. Shame those simps.
But my point was, like, I feel like there's times in our lives. There's times in every man's life is like, oh damn, I shouldn't have done that. Like, oh, post nut clarity. It's like a big it's a real thing. Oh damn, like, why the hell that? Like, I feel like that happens in a lot of people's lives, and I feel like OnlyFans doesn't give you that post nut clarity. Like, it doesn't give you like, oh,
it's just one long nut.
Yeah, it's just, no, you have that, and it's like, oh damn, I'm gonna come back now. It's not like you just go to Pornhub or X videos or Brazzers or whatever adult website you find. And it's like, oh damn, okay, I'm in, I'm out, bang.
But if you don't regret it, doesn't that mean it's more worth it?
Yeah, and that's the cycle. That's why it keeps coming back. That's why OnlyFans is able to hook those simps. Because they keep coming back. Because that emotional ride is not the same as busting a nut. You bust a nut.
Yeah, like there's no
horniness.
There's no emotion to that, man. Like, if you're feeling some type of way, you go onto a website, you browse, like you might search or you might browse, and then bang, and out, I carry on with the rest of my day. There's nothing like, oh man, I found this model, I fell in love with her, and like,
it's the same.
She was so nice when I spoke with her.
Exactly. Or even in real life, sometimes you court a chick. The moment you hit it, you bounce, because now it's just like, hey, I got what I wanted, I'm gone. So, and then as a man though, once you invest emotionally to her,
it's a lot more difficult to leave.
It's a lot more difficult.
So I just want you to ask your question one more time, Khelil, as we wrap this episode up.
So the question is, do you feel like OnlyFans is more destructive or constructive to these people's self-esteem, to their relationships, to how they tackle their real life problems, or just in general with these young people, the young generation who's consuming OnlyFans and these things in large quantities? Even the older generation too. I'll put the older generation. I feel like we know better, but sure. Even though you think we know better, but there's plenty of people our age that are paying for it. But maybe we're not being as affected by it. But let us know what you think. Comment down below.
Opinion Factory Podcast. Find us on Apple, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to a podcast. Special shout out to our guest Gerry with a G. Hey. Appreciate you for coming. I suggest you check. I will also suggest his old episode for Forbidden Words. That you can find
episode 7, I think.
Yep, of course. Opinion Factory Podcast. Episode Spotify. Like the video if you liked it. Mm-hmm. Share with your friends if you liked the video and the podcast. Mm-hmm. And we will see y'all
next week.